Once again, welcome to South Africa, first of all, and secondly, welcome to Port St. John's, Sardine Run. It's really nice to have you guys here, and it's so awesome, especially during these times, to see that you could get here. Port St. John's is situated in the heart of the Wild Coast. Now, we talk about it of the Wild Coast, and it is really the Wild Coast, lots of shipwrecks here, and but it is where we find, this time of the year, we find the sardines coming to the surface. And it's due to the fact that the continental shelf actually comes very close to shore off here. So it's easy for the predators to push the fish up here. The most southern tip of Africa is the Agulhas Bank, and that is where the sardines spawn. Okay. And typically this time of the year, with the current, the warm Mozambique current coming down and the cold Benguela current from the Cape Town side, the currents come closer to shore and it pushes a cold current up. And those sardines move up with it. It becomes narrower the further north it becomes, and all the predators follow that. A typical bait ball normally is being made by common dolphins, and if I say about common dolphins, I'm talking about schools of an excess of 2,000 dolphins at a time. All right, so it's really spectacular. They're the smaller kind, very fast, got a yellow line on the side. And they go down and they take a piece of that shoal and make an air curtain, okay, around it, and they bring it up to the surface. We have to look at the behavior of the dolphin to see if a bait ball is there, because you can imagine now it's all underwater. Okay, so when it gets to a point where the gannets can reach it, and gannets can dive to about 18 meters, and I've seen them down at 30 plus meters, all right, where they can swim down there. Actually, a funny part of this is, after about 15 years doing the sardine run, one of the people said to me, "Are you not scared that that thing is going to impale you?" You know? And I laughed because I thought, I've never even thought about that, you know. But yeah, if you see the speed that they hit the water with, it's really breathtaking and beautiful. And that is not a gannet. Okay, that's an Egyptian goose. All right, so we're definitely not the ones we're looking for. That's one thing I can guarantee you guys are going to sleep very well every night. Okay, that's a given. But yes, it is quite an adventure, and there is quite a bit of physical exercise involved in this. The Sardine Run itself, I have been doing here for 22 years. This place is very close to my heart. It is, besides a beautiful, spectacular area, the people are friendly, and obviously the nice action that we get off here, and you get a real feel of Africa. And it used to be a big port where big ships used to come in here. But due to deforestation and bad farming methods, a lot of soil gets washed down the river. and that is why it's so salted up.
Oh, Sardine Run. Where do we even begin? I mean, what an adventure. What an adventure. Just, I mean, it's right up there with the trips of my lifetime, and I've had some pretty amazing adventures myself, but this really was top class. So the one thing I got to say is that we were incredibly lucky to have Louis as our skipper. He is an exceptional man. He's one of those characters you rarely find in the sport of scuba diving, who is so in tune with his natural ecosystem. He is absolutely, as hokey as this sounds, at one with the wild coast in South Africa. He loves what he does and he understands it intimately. To give you an example of what I mean by that, we were out on the boat one day and there's dolphins everywhere, but there's one particular pod of dolphins that's running in a pretty excitable way. And Louis turns to the boat and he says, "Guys, get ready. There's going to be orcas." And no sooner had he said that than his radio buzzed, and it was the spotter plane calling in orcas heading in our general direction. And then orcas happened. I've been diving for 22 years. I've led diving expeditions all around the world, and I'd never seen anything like this. It was absolutely phenomenal. And you've got to be ready for the action. You've got to get in the water so quickly, because if you don't, you miss it. And there were many shots I missed just from not being ready, not having my camera ready, not having my gear ready, and just not getting in the water fast enough. It's that simple. You know, there's also a lot of waiting. There were hours sometimes where there'd be no action at all, and you know, you kind of reflect on that. That could have been our whole 3 weeks. It could have just been no action, just nothing showed up. These are wild animals, so you know, we're not in control. Your whole time you're on the boat in these sort of doldrums, looking for activity, you're looking for the bird action, you're looking for any sign that it's about to kick off. and you're trying to suppress your adrenaline and hold on to it and rein it in, because you know in a moment's notice it could just explode, and all of a sudden it's bam, there's your bait ball. In come the bonita tuna. Oh, a Cape fur seal's just shown up. Oh, bride's whale's coming through. Watch yourselves, guys. And then, of course, those are just the things that we saw. We had a whole second boat out that was just a couple of miles up the coast from us, having completely different experiences on the same expedition. So they got, for example, an oceanic manta, which we didn't get to see. It was 8 feet across. They also rescued a humpback whale that had about 400 pounds of ghost fishing gear attached to it. I don't know where else you could go and get that kind of experience as a sport diver, but I know for a fact that every diver on the boat will have those memories with them for the rest of their lives. And then, you know, at the end of the day, you come back up the river and you have this moment of great reflection where you think about everything you've seen, you try and make sense of it, you try and digest it. You know, and on top of it all, just a great group of divers, just a great group of people from different walks of life that came together to make this expedition happen. And yeah, very different, very diverse group of people, but having that common interest and that sense of adventure to sit around a campfire with a cold beer at the end of the day, swapping stories about just the phenomenal wildlife spectacle that we got to see. You know, a lot of those people have become very, very dear friends that will be friends of mine for the rest of my life, for sure. When you watch a nature documentary, do you cheer for the antelope or the cheetah? It's hard to say when you're dealing with marine animals, but you see this frightened group of sardines bait balling together as a defensive measure, just being ripped apart by all these predators, and you're right there in the front row. And you can see afterwards when the bonita have come through and they've hit the bait ball especially hard, the water glitters with flakes of sardines. And it gives you this very melancholy feeling. It's a very, very weird thing to see that much real nature that close. You know, we always talk about scuba diving being more like yoga or Pilates than backcountry skiing or skydiving. But there's an adrenaline rush that comes with the Sardine Run that is highly, highly addictive. It is exactly the crux of the phrase adrenaline junkie, because the action, you just want to get in the water again and see more and see more and see these bait balls and see these dolphins and the other predators tearing it up. It's addictive to the point where I can't wait to go back next year and do it all over again.
Right.